All right, folks, we're back. Thank you for sitting through that break. It took a little bit longer than we had expected, but now good to go. Now this is a brand new best of 3, so you haven't missed any of the action if you're just tuning in, because we're just getting into it. This is the other semifinals for this week's Olimoleague, the Olimoleague. In the top left, we have the Blue Zerg player from Dead Pixels. It's Impact.
In the bottom right, former teammates, he is Ryung.
Yeah, this is the X-Axiom show match, I guess you could say.
Was he back on Slayers? No, he wasn't. Never mind. Yeah, X-Axiom for sure.
Also, just as a note, I know we just talked about it in chat, but I would like to bring this up on the stream to actually get, I guess, opinions from those like Snipe Hunt and Monty Oon and the guys who actually cheer bits. The Chosen One brought up an interesting point, saying like, please, when you make a custom cheer mode, don't do something that is bit boss related. Make it something more lasting, something more StarCraft. But my problem personally with that is like, I feel like since we introduced bit boss, we've had cheers on for about a year now, and in the last month of having the bit boss on, it's not just like we've had more. It's like 7 times more bits from bit boss than the rest of the year combined. And I don't know that having I like the idea. Maybe this is something where like when they introduce more than one custom cheer mode slot, we look into it. But right now, it's like I don't know anyone really cares. And this is where I'm asking people like Snipe Hunt and Monty Oon and Maynard and whoever throws bits in, like, what appeals more to you guys? Something that's a little bit more funny for the bit boss, and something where like, you know, when you cheer those bits, you're wielding some kind of weapon, or would you rather have like a Zerg logo pulsing and pumping, right? Like, I don't actually know. You guys let us know. But for me, I would think that honestly, I don't know that people would care about StarCraft cheer modes.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I wouldn't really care, you know? Like, and when would I even get to use it too? Like, in a GSL chat? Lol.
No, cheer modes don't carry on to other channels. They only work on the channel.
Exactly. It seems like it'd be kind of useless. I don't know. And I have a lot more fun with the bit boss, and there's no reason to get rid of the bit boss either. Like, even if people aren't appealed anymore to being the bit boss, it's one extra tiny little thing to make it a little more cool when you decide to donate bits.
I like messing around with it more. Like, I'm up to like, I think 11,000 bits spent on Nate's channel. Granted, 10,000 of that was me just sharing the love when we had that one really great stream together. But like, messing in, throwing a couple bits, throwing pokes at the boss when I know I don't care about being the boss is like really fun for me. I enjoy that. I don't know that I would normally throw in like 100 bits otherwise.
I really liked it. I really like it. I just don't. I can't think of anything else that's really like going to be fun as a cheer emote on our channel. Animated. It has to be super cool. I mean, for my channel, I made the bit sounds and like gifs or whatever. The video that pops up, I made them like summons. I thought that'd be really cool. So, like, you donate a certain amount, and you got,
here's Ifrit,
you got Shiva or you got Ifrit or whatever. Like,
yo,
I really like the idea.
Please don't tell me you went cliche. I made like Bahamut, the big one.
No, I think I made Alexander the big one.
Okay,
or Cerberus maybe. I really like Cerberus. He's so cool. Yeah, he actually is the lamest. Well, borderline lamest summon though. I don't. You never played Final Fantasy VIII, right?
Okay, no, but I'm gonna tell you right now that statement's wrong because Carbuncle exists.
Well, that's why I said almost lamest. Well, but even then, I think Carbuncle's a lot more useful than Siren. Because there's actually a lot of GFs that are like, they're useful one time, but like Siren like is used to the silence and everything. Bosses don't usually get silence anyways. At least Carbuncle like reflection is fine, but Cerberus doing triple only affect like your magic spellcasters, which I guess is technically everyone on Final Fantasy VIII, but
are we casting Final Fantasy or StarCraft 2 right now? Am I right?
I wish I could cast Final Fantasy. I'd be all up in that.
Actually, like a Final Fantasy RTS would be kind of sick. You think about like all the things you could do. Anyways, Ryung and Impact, actually, we mentioned before, ex-teammates, they know each other well, there's no question about it. Even though they've been off the team for a while, you look at Crank and Alicia casting together because they're still friends, still talk to each other. And I gotta imagine they know each other's builds pretty decently. Ryung's gone for a little bit more, I guess, classic build here. Like, we don't see a lot of these sort of 2-on-1s anymore. This is something where it was so popular, and I think for like a full year, right? It dominated the matchup.
Oh, Ryung messed up.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's maybe it's because it's been so long since he's done it. There is going to be a drop coming, though. And I don't know how much this will get done. This is going to be like, what, 8 lings coming to the main? Like, I feel like he's plus CVs and you're good with that.
I'm actually wondering how he messed up. He got engineer base too fast? Maybe? Or, I don't know. He just looks like he just messed up.
Maybe summon Carbuncle.
You messed up, son.
It's like I wanted a good summon. Now I'm letting a Medivacs. No, actually, speaking of messing up, like, that aside, he does have more Medivacs to go with, which is good, but unfortunately, this actually pulls away all the defense at home. So this, for me, kind of goes into what I was talking about with Impact. If you know that Ryung's always doing builds like this, and he takes all of his army out of the base, it's not that many lings, but this actually causes damage. He's not pulling back, he's relying on production, and he's going to go forward with the attack. I don't know, this is such a not worthwhile trade. Mineral walking through the lings actually gave him the ability to get on top of the Marines. Those are supposed to sit safely behind the SCVs.
This was so weird, too, because Ryung getting that medevac first and then waiting for 2 more almost made it in, like, so that his Marines had not been picked up, you know? Like, it was even closer in the timing there for Impact to drop them. I mean, now there's 3 medevacs full of Marines attacking Impact's front door, and he doesn't have any Banelings, so this might still be an issue for him, but it's a surround at Queens. Oh, the Rebrenade was so dangerous to use.
It did kind of help get us surround, but looks like the stutter step's going to be pretty good. He trades up for most of the lings and maybe heals up and takes on the queens. He does have stim, but I guess the army's so low it's not worth using. Another drop of lings coming towards the main, but this time he actually has units at home to deal with it.
Yeah, you really just need a handful of units too. Just very unfortunate timing. Ryung has a 3rd base. Impact did successfully hold, but he had to make a lot of lings to do so. That was certainly a very, very big threat. So he's only at 56 drones, not too impressive.
Actually, yeah, what's the units lost? 54 lings dead? Yeah, that's a lot. Goes to the fuel. A for effort. Overlord does get dealt with, so thank God for that. No longer going to have to worry about those drops coming in anytime soon.
Drops are actually something that Ryung's going to have to be, I feel like, driving home right here, right now. Spire is on the way, but just the fact is it's Cactus Valley cross spawn again. Something I talked about earlier. It doesn't mean like a world of difference, literally win or lose, depending on if you get these spawns, but it is something that is negatively affecting the Terran most games. So if he doesn't get the drops in now, he never will, and then he'll have to do pushes to the middle of the map, which can be quite difficult to do.
Clean up the creep was good, but I'm just going to lose a lot for it. It's kind of worrisome. He does get semi-surrounded. Focus fires down the Banelings like a pro, but loses a medevac in the process.
Oh, so close to the second one too. That would have been devastating.
If he lost 2 medevacs, that would have been like pro to Joe status, you know, just a snap of the fingers. But the wall's down. He's got to be careful. Baneling's coming over here. He saves the SCVs, but the wall lets all the lings in. Second wall, second wall. No.
Oh god. Oh man, that's
GG.
it. Yeah.
That's the tap out. I don't blame him either. Impact takes a very nice game, number 1.
He handled Ryung perfectly.
I really feel that build was tailored to Ryung. Like, I really, really, truly believe, like, if you know Ryung's always doing these builds that involve a timing in which he picks all of his units up to go across the map, suddenly 8 lings in an Overlord looks a lot less stupid and looks a lot more good. But thank you, Sleepy Cod, for the 33-month resub. Appreciate it. Also, I wish we had some downtime to carry on this discussion with Chosen One, because he brings up an interesting point now, right? And by the way, Chosen One, if you feel like you're getting picked on by this, I hope you don't. The intention isn't like I'm not trying to turn anyone against you. It's just a very interesting opposing opinion here, where he says like he'll donate streamers, but not to play a game to rile up others who won't play their money. In fact, BitBoss makes him not want to donate or contribute, and that's fine, like to each their own. My curious question though is then where does the line get drawn? Like, is it, you know what, like you love player X and player Y they're playing on stream, and you know that, like, say for example, cheers for that day will go towards the players. Does that mean that your I guess I don't want to phrase that, dislike of the bit system that we're using would prohibit you then from supporting players in that scenario because you wouldn't want to be like part of the system? Now I'm making you sound like a hippie, I apologize. But, or is it something where it's just like, look, on the off chance that it makes you donate, like it does, you couldn't care less for it? In which case I understand and respect that, because I feel the same way about some other features on Twitch. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are, because nobody really threw in their 2 cents or their 2 bits about the question other than Chosen One. So it's for us, it's a hard line to make, right? I feel we've been pretty good about not going overboard with things that would, I think, take away from the quality of the stream. Like we're not putting like crazy donation goal banners taking up like 90% of the screen.
Sellout day, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this bit thing for me, I look at it, I'm like, it's a small concession. I don't think it's like, it doesn't take too much away. It's like a small second here and there. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts though.
Well, for me, I don't. Again, like, hoping you don't think we're picking on you. I just don't understand the whole like, I don't want other people to feel like necessity to donate thing that he added on there, because I feel like people.
Well, actually, I can understand that point of view. I'll get to that in a moment, though. I'll explain my thoughts. Bottom right, though, it is going to be the red Terran Ryung. Oh, you can too. I just want to get the intros out of the way.
In the bottom left, or the top left, says the blue Zerg. He is Impact.
Okay, you first.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I think that if anyone does it publicly on stream, thus causing the streamer to say it out loud, it automatically makes people more inclined. That's how you get sub trains and bit trains and donation trains. So,
so my thought on this is, and this is where I see that point of view, like the opposite, where if it's some corporation like GSL doing this, I'm like not just not wanting to give them money. I'm going to speak out against them. Like, you guys, like, what are you trying to goad viewers into? Like, blah blah blah. Like, you're a company, you got money, you got sponsors. Like,
I don't know. Like, if people want to donate to something and those people want to shout them out, I don't see a problem with it. It's the people subbing to it, right? Like,
well, so that's the thing too. Like, I was not at all a fan. Like, and I was disappointed in people like you and others who would sub to GSL when they were like quality gating the stream and like being really, I think, terrible with how they were handling it. So I've been on the other side of this argument for other aspects of it. Obviously not cheers, but
well, yeah, I can see like the quality gating, like in actually like taking away something for someone else, but I don't see how the BitBoss takes away anything from anyone else.
No, I don't think it does, but it's still, man, this is where like I wish StarCraft talk shows are around, or like we had a podcast proper. This would be a really fun topic to
This is just a streaming podcast, right? You can get a bunch of like variety streamers on it too.
Yeah.
So also, I don't even think I remember when I subbed or desubbed. Am I not subbed anymore? Like, I got really frustrated at GSL for being bad at their VODs at some point or another. I mean, I've subbed or paid for the wrong reasons. For instance, with Twitch, like, I should not have given Twitch my money for Twitch. Wait, Turbo. That's what it was called. Turbo. Yeah. But the reason I did it was because the ads kept breaking. It's you know, it was the easy bypass to fix it, but it wasn't a good reason to support the company. It was a bad reason. It happens.
Well, anyways, I don't know whether that first game was tailored to Ryung or not. Maybe it was a good coincidence. But this time around, he's going for a pretty quick Overlord speed. You notice he didn't have Overlord speed at all that last game, but I guess scouting is going to be feeling a little more important. Perhaps worried that Ryung might just go crazy and do something really off the wall as a sort of response to being down 1 in the series.
Sometimes Ryung does seem kind of that obvious, you know? I mean, he literally did that. Well, not being down 1 as opposed to being up 1, but he did a decent macro game first and then a cheese later in the TVP that we saw from him. And I think it is a very good response from Ryung as well to get defeated in the first game and then try and do like a Hellbat attack or, well, actually, yeah, Hellbat attack basically for the follow-up. But this is just a Banshee with Cloak, so it's not going to be Armory too, but that Overlord could also scout that. Hellions are going to be too useful, but they're getting some scouting. Maybe 2 drones? Not even? Nope.
Friggin' Megadog. I see in chat. Senpai notices. Thank you. But yeah, the Hellions, actually, did they see the Roachborn go down? Okay, they barely caught that. Still a bit weird. I wasn't sure if that was going to be the case. But unfortunately, you know, this could still be painful when it comes to the Banshee. And whether or not this is damage to the workers, they're still going to have these out for the Roaches. And early game Roaches, Ravagers, like, they're not going to do so well against Banshees if they get caught out in the middle of the map. So I'm curious whether Impact is going to be getting aggressive or not. This could actually really change how Ryung wants to use the Banshees too.
Yeah, when you see the Banshees, I would say definitely never, unless you get for an Endless Worm, which did work versus Ryung. Versus Natural, that's what it was. Worked well enough versus Natural when Impact faced Natural earlier today. Let me cast that. Why is Ryung's red bar so dark?
What?
Oh, on Game Heart, Ryung's red is just so dark on his overlay. It's starting to bother me.
I think it looks normal.
Probably looks normal to you. All right then. No, I was also gonna say, like, roaches and all, like, whether you be aggressive with them or not aside, I was wondering if you would stay on roaches. Impact isn't shy for it. Obviously, you just brought that Nidus from game where he went roach infester, but I do always pin him more as a Muta player, even 2-base Muta sometimes. That is not an Overseer. I feel like that was supposed to be.
The energy, I like that he targeted on the queen with all the energy, so that's going to be a bit unfortunate. Now the queen's going to go down for this, and he can just fly away. He's actually done quite a bit of damage already through 2 queens, but not worth it if he loses the Banshees both without more. Stalled out with where they are. Other side of the map, it's not anything weird, and he confirms this too. Like, you are kind of worried, like, will there be a strange YOLO mech build behind this, or double starports or something insane? But that Overseer got in, got out, and saw the barracks, and he knows that Ryung's playing pretty standard behind it.
Yeah, exactly. No need to worry about being anything unnatural. Because natural doesn't make sense. Anyways. Third base going to that forward position, which seems to be a lot more common nowadays. And in turn, Zerg's taking that left base, I would say, more often now with it. Just a reaction to each other's expansions. And the Overseer is going to see that command center floating on over. Bailiness is quite late, so certifical hooks will be a long ways off.
That's going to be an issue for dealing with any pushes, but I was just going to comment, I'm still not sold on this base. I feel I could be wrong, I'm probably wrong on this, but I feel more often than not, we see Terran players lose Belshear, and so much of it hinges on the fact that they took this base.
It's hard, you know, because like it turns into the sickest tug of war that could end the game quicker than any other expansions can. So when we see the Terran get overwhelmed and then see their third base go down, we're like, well, what else did you expect? But maybe in the Terran's player mind, if they're overwhelmed and they've lost the pressure, they've lost the control, they've already lost the game anyways. You know, because that snowballs into more creep spread, and snowballs into Infestation Pit, which snowballs into Ultralisk, and then Ultras are, you know, good.
I see that. Banshee
there's no
gets picked
Banelings
off
here. I think
immediately.
Impact might be screwed.
Yeah, there's just a way to play this out. The Queens are doing the best they can. They actually will almost take out a tank. Excuse me, I was gonna say it. They will, but they don't. 10 health remains. It fires more. GG. And game 2 goes to Ryung.
I love how many discussions happen in chat, by the way. We focused on the interesting Bit Boss one, right? But there's also one about the games and elitism, and now they're talking about Amazon Prime, or Twitch Prime rather, being good or bad. There's a lot of discussions. Also a discussion about a talk show. Talk shows are bad ideas. Weekly talk shows, sorry, are bad ideas.
Yeah, there's some things to be said about that. But we're gonna go to commercial break, and we'll see you guys here in 2 minutes. Game number 3 when we get back. All right, folks, we're back. Game number 3. Things are tied up now 1-1, as we're about to find out which player goes on to fight against Hurricane in the grand finals. Spawning here in the bottom right, we do have the Red Zerg player. It's none other than Impact.
In the bottom left is the blue Terran. He is Ryung.
And Chanson, you're out of sync with your webcam. I don't see that, so I'm gonna just... We're having enough audio problems today, guys. You can hear her, and at some point you see her face, and we'll leave it at that.
I was gonna say I'm out of sync with life, man. I don't know what's going on.
Life can be scary sometimes.
That's true. I don't have anything more meaningful to say.
I'm trying to create a meme right
deep
now,
for me.
so I can't really contribute to conversation.
Okay, that's what you're doing, of course. When you take a little time to respond, of course.
You just assume I'm doing dumb shit.
Well, you know, you go through the steps, right? I think that happens like for both of us, right? Where I'm a little slow to respond too. You're like, okay, are we in chat? No.
Oh, I just always assume
are we
you're
on Twitter?
in chat.
No. Are you in Photoshop? Maybe.
Shut up.
That's my order for you. Anyways, Impact, they go for a gas first, actually, and of course a pool right after, so the hatchery is quite late. Ryung went for a Marine first instead of a Reaper, which can be dangerous if he's looking for an Overlord kill, because the Lings will kill his Marine and then cancel, or stall out, rather, the command center. Actually, they might even cancel it. That's just really scary. If Impact knew this is what Ryung was going to do, if he made 6 Lings instead of just 2, I think that might be a cancel and really quite embarrassing for the Terran player, honestly. But only 2 should not be that big of a deal. And now I think Impact gets the worst trade here with only 2, because the Marines can take that on. And they're safely tucked away at home. The Overlord might bait them, so the CV might die anyways. But then the Overlord might die, so, you know, give and take there. He should have noticed by now the lack of a Reaper. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, so I wonder in the mind of, like, the pro Zerg players how weird that is. Like, it is one thing to know, like, okay, I'm not getting harassed, so I don't have anything like this, that, and the other, but it is also that, wait a minute, why aren't I being harassed? And I look at it, if it were me in my shoes, I'd be in the second one where I'm, like, super paranoid, and I don't really know what's coming. But I wonder if these guys are just so practiced, prepared, and they know, like, okay, he's going for 2 Marines, I don't care.
I don't know. This is... well, it's gonna be scouted, so it's interesting to see Ryung go for a fast 3rd CC, but it's gonna be scouted regardless of his earlier snipe of an Overlord. I think it's really cool if his plan was to snipe and then get away with this, basically. That is to say, the Zerg player, by not scouting it, doesn't go greedy enough and doesn't think they can punish. You know, they don't see an opportunity to punish either, so they kind of just play this middle game where you get a lot of greed. But Impact with Overlord speed should see this and be able to respond accordingly, which I think is going to be by just macroing. But, you know, there's the options. Oh my god, did he not see it? He's too scared. He got too scared of the Marines. He didn't want to lose the Overlord.
Oh, you're right.
Well, huh.
Because that 3rd CC getting scouted, that's like the biggest trigger to attack. This is the biggest trigger to stop making drones and start going ham.
You know,
or alternatively, just go super, super, super greedy.
He did see a lack of a starport, though, with the tech lab already on the barracks. That might be enough to tell him it's a 3rd CC.
I think it just goes down to, like, Impact is a smart player. Is he smart enough to read that, though, off so little information? I feel like there are some scouts that are just so blatantly off. You know, Protoss doesn't have a second pylon in the main. It's obviously a proxy. The tech lab on the barracks, I don't know how obvious that is, though.
I think it is. I'm just wondering if this Roachborn is because he thought maybe it was I can't imagine he thinks it's an armory. It might be for an attack. He's getting a bit of a supply buffer here too with 2 Overlords. He sees there's still no wall at the front. I think he should try and attack.
Yeah, good chunk of roaches. Good scan also out of Ryung.
Nice.
Seeing that roach warren. So I'm not sure how scared he would be. I think like even just the 1 bunker should be enough.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Yeah, 1 bunker. Ryung is gonna, you know, without that scan, would have a partial wall off, so it's like at least freebie depots, right? And then no actual safeguard for his Marines, and these roaches probably would have won. But there's also going to be a drop in the main base, so no matter what, Ryung's limited supply of units is going to be split apart, and if he splits incorrectly, then that's still bad news. Plus, without a wall, they could just bypass the natural completely, the natural bunker that is, and still be really annoying. Impact's like committing to this hard though. Like he had that Overlord seeing there was a bunker building, and he of course saw that he was scanned. He could have maybe disengaged and just like kind of tricked him into like, you know, just go back in a macro, but now he's completely committing.
Well, that is a considerable amount of Ravagers, and even a tank won't stop this. It's going to be so much more about the bio and his control of said bio, but 3 bunkers? I mean, like, Impact, to break this first bunker, is going to take damage. He will break it, I would imagine, but as we see, he's already bleeding out roaches, Ravagers. The stim from the Marines is great. Whoa. Takes out another Ravager almost. Maybe a little overextended?
Yeah, exactly. Overextending a little bit. Ling's also gotten to that main base. That drop did commence and is killing SCVs, pulling them off of the main base as well. So there's no mining there. Finally taken care of by the Hellions. That was a nice response by Ryung. He's a little bit late. And he has 3 bunkers. I think Impact might just be out of luck here.
I mean,
2 bunkers.
I think one of the big things is Impact, until that 1-1 in combat shields is all finished up, like he actually has a chance to break this. But I think once those 3 upgrades combine, it's going to be too much and too behind. The tanks don't really know what to shoot, but they do soak the hits, so the Ravagers aren't shooting the bunkers.
Well, they probably should have attacked the Ravagers instead of those Lings there.
Agreed.
1 bunker still stands, however.
1 bunker might be enough. There's still 1 Ling up here. 2 Lings being annoying. Easily dealt with, though. I think production is going to be good for Ryung. A couple of SCVs died, but 6 is nothing compared to how dedicated this was at Impact. He's actually going to make more transport overlords and maybe just bring everything up to the main. That's kind of it's an interesting way to bypass the bunker.
It might be the perfect way. He knows that the unit count is very low. All he needs to do is not have to deal with a bunker and SCVs repairing.
I don't know. So, like, for me, I think that, like I said earlier, so much just comes down to the Marines and not the bunker. He's got a lot of Marines still. If he gets these in the right position quickly enough, I mean, it's very unupgraded Lings.
Yeah, I don't know if Impact's letting those Lings die like that. Save the Overlords, I guess, but it's too late to drop them. And his aggression is over. That scan from Ryung revealed that Impact is planning on transitioning as well, so he was pretty calm about this. He can take his 3rd base. He can finally get medevacs. His starport was a little late. Like, that was the one thing that might have been good for Impact would have been to, like, just give up earlier and drone a little bit harder if he knew the starport wasn't done. Because the Terrans are going to be moving out with tanks and Marines until they have medevacs. But I don't think he knew that.
Well,
so
as the medevacs do come out, I just want to go back to those upgrades. You know, that 1-1's going to be really nice. There's going to be a time where Impact doesn't have necessarily Carapace to even match that. Oh.
That's clever. Demi. It's half the damage of the boss, I'm guessing.
Ah.
Actually, Demi's like something like 30% or something weird, right?
I don't know.
Gravaja is 50%.
I actually would not have connected that at all to Final Fantasy if you weren't here.
I'm finally useful, Rifkin.
Yeah. Years of dealing with this useless caster girl. She can't even make sandwiches. I mean, come on.
Hey, I make great sandwiches. I made you a platter in Chicago. I'll share my snack package.
I'll tell you what, Monty, you just cast Ultima. Thank you so much, 1,000 bits, dude. Annihilation on the boss. These Ravagers, though, did a pretty good job of keeping Ryung from pushing forward. I don't know. Like, I'm still very much favoring Ryung's position in this game. I think 3 bases versus 4 is still perfectly fine for him to be on. Like, it's not disadvantaged because his army is so good, right? In fact, he's gonna be hitting in 3 locations. The Hellion run by to the drone lines, the main attack through the middle of the map, and the drop in the main while this goes on. It stacks up. Oh my god, those drones! Are you serious?
Oh Jesus. Okay then.
All right, so it looks like one of the bases was going to be left exposed. There was a question of which of the 3 was going to hurt, and it looks like the 4th base is the one that dies. The main got picked up pretty quickly, picking up a couple of kills, and of course there's Hellions. Probably gave Impact a heart attack. But he did.
Yeah,
he didn't lose too much in terms of drones, but a whole base going down still hurts.
It does, but I think that's something that he was willing to give up. There had to be something. There's just too many units from Ryung everywhere, and giving up the main would have been a lot more dangerous. Impact is on his way to Infestors again, which did bring him back from like an okay position to a great position in that game versus Natural and Cactus Valley. I like this choice. If you're gonna, look for a unit to come back with, it's gonna be Ravager Biles with Infestors. But he did also squeeze in Banelings and Baneling speed there too.
Oh, that Queen's gonna wish is a little bit more than a Queen. He's gonna just chill on the bottom right for a bit. No Spire, no problems. Do you think these medevacs get out of here alive this game?
I do. I think they get out.
Okay, I think they get fungled and die.
Ho 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 ho.
Top right's actually got a really nice attack set up here too.
Yep.
Did you bank heist without me?
I did, and it was over so quickly.
Dog, I told you we got to Bonnie and Clyde that shit. We can't.
Yeah, that's why I died.
There's no legend of just Bonnie. There's no legend of just Clyde. Okay.
I guess that's true. Oh no, why are you attacking with these drops? You're supposed to live.
Well, I might not be right about the fungal part and dying, but either way, medvacs get really low as they run away. Attack on this side also going to catch a lot of Ravagers off guard. I love that he focuses down the Ravagers, or tries to at least. Ends up falling back, revisiting the medvacs. Back at home, Ryung, of course, is set up really nicely. We got another command center on the way, and I think with this awkward split of the Sim City, like these depots are going to keep these units from getting into the army Bunker's nicely done too. I like his defense back at home.
I like that Ryung isn't going to push the issue, by the way. Like, I think Impact has successfully gotten to a point of pretty good defense. Dealing with the drops, a scary enough army to deal with the main push too. Ryung is not going to try and end the game before Ultras. He's going to try and meet the Ultras and then end the game. So 4th base, Liberators, tanks with upgrades, maybe some more Marauders, yeah, sure, and +3 attack. That Investor, though.
I mean, it's not detected. There's a turret. It's like just on the edge of detection, I guess. Medevac's coming for round 2. One of them gets picked off by the Queen. I don't know he'll get both the Medevacs, but he does clean up the Marines. So half right, Zombie Grub?
So, yeah, are we at like 4.5 versus 4.5 or something?
I don't know. Let's just round it down.
So 4 to 4?
Like, I mean, he lost all the Marines too, right? So, like...
Well, I think when we say the drops, usually mean Medevacs, but I don't know. We need to make, stricter rules.
I know, this is such an important part of our dialogue. Comes up so often.
The next drunk stream, whoever's wrong has to down an entire bottle of soju.
Soju's not so bad to drink. I like the flavored stuff. Don't like the regular stuff.
But I don't
know.
Did you?
Whoa!
Were you a lot smarter than us? And did you not take parting up on his demand to one-shot a bottle of soju?
I tried. I got like 60% of it. I couldn't do the whole thing.
Okay. I don't remember. Well, probably not worth for a handful of Marines and a tank right there, but it's actually probably pretty even. Impact's banking a little bit, buying time for his Ultras.
God, this army though. Yeah, until the Ultras come out, like this is definitely all about Ryung. Oh, Roach is getting wrecked by some SimCity mistakes there. I don't know, like I'm wondering if the Ultras will be enough to turn the tides of battle, because for me I'm looking more towards the Fungals, and these Infestors keep getting picked off, and there's just not going to be those Fungals that he needs to have. There's a lot of Marauders in this army too, so Ultras might not even be the answer that they normally are.
No Katniss plating, he hasn't even started it.
Oh, that's going to sting, because this is +3 on Ryung's bio. Even the Marines will get to tear apart Ultras.
Yeah.
Although you might not even shoot them because you just don't think about it. You're like, oh, it's an Ultra, I can't touch it, why waste time? But really, yeah, you shred it to bits.
Well, certainly the tanks and Liberators are. Trying to get to that Spire, maybe he was trying to fit in a greater Spire before the attack happened, or maybe he was so worried about those Liberators he scouted, but I think that Chitinous plating is more important than a Spire right here.
What is this Infestor?
What is the same one that's going to be chasing him?
I don't know, use it on the drop, use it on the Marines, something? Oh, it burrows. I like the idea to burrow, but it still costs him all of his drones. As he runs north to try and defend this maybe opens up the defense in the south. Counterattack going off on both the Bit Boss and on the map. See if he's pulled away, trying to hide in that bunker. I love the defensive setup, though. Talked about this earlier. I'm glad he didn't salvage the bunker and be cheap with his money, because that just kept him from losing 20-something SCVs.
Yep. Impact still has an okay army if he would just get Chitinous plating. But without that Chitinous plating, I fear that he might just be pushed into. Now, Ryung at this point in time is probably recognized. Like, I'm dealing a lot of damage with those Ultras. What's the deal here? Yeah. But you know, it's like, it's trying to snipe High Templars. Storm could finish in 1 second, and you would not know. And then you would get everything fungled and chomped to death. So he's still got to be really careful with how he positions himself. Yeah.
The attack comes in, goes to the break, but as we see, these Ultras are just getting shredded down so quickly. Ryung, like, I get what he's doing. Like, he's worried about Fungals, and that's part of the slow push with this, but there's just not really that many Fungals. There's like 2, maybe 3. Either way, I think like he can stand his ground to fight against the Ultras. There's no question about that. All the Ultras except for 1 die.
Well, there's that last one. Last pack. 2 more on the way, but man, I think Impact just totally didn't even recognize our Chitinous plating.
That's a huge mistake. I know, like I keep looking at the production tab, but GG gets gone, and Ryung's gonna go through to the finals. TVP. Also, Bacon Hero asked in chat with the Bit Boss thing. He's the current Bit Boss, and he says, where was this? I just had that in chat and I scrolled past it. Rip. Hey guys, I was the Bit Boss at the end of last night. Do I get a cool portrait? No, because we didn't actually put a prize up for last night because we knew it was going to be a short stream and nobody was like really doing bits. There's only going to be a prize for the Bit Boss if we talk about a prize for the Bit Boss. But I tell you what, tonight, man, I got no problem if you end up being the Bit Boss. I have no problem giving you a cool prize. But yesterday was kind of this thing that we knew it was up against like what? SSL or GSL or something, and there's like nothing else going on, and yeah, we didn't set up a prize for yesterday as the TLDR. But today, I've got no problem with that. We can get whoever the bit boss is something for the troubles. Either way, we're going to be moving into a best-of-5 grand final. So Hurricane versus Ryung TVP. Winner of this will, of course, get those points you need oh so necessarily for the monthly finals, but also a good chunk of the prize money today. So we'll see you guys in a few. Thanks for watching. We'll be back after the break.